Hey, what's up, Eagle Nation? It's your boy Ill Will, and this is the Eagle Raw Report. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. Oh man, let me start off with the good before I get to the bad. For 3 quarters, we looked unstoppable. We looked like a playoff contending team, a Super Bowl contending team. We looked like we were going to win the NFC East. It looked like the season was pretty much a wrap. Yes, I was jumping the gun. It looked good. Looked like we were back on track. And then the fourth quarter came. I don't know what happened. I can't explain it. But I'm going to start off on the offensive side. Isaac Sayamalu, I bashed this man since week 2 of last year until yesterday. He played a solid game. He did things that you usually don't see a lineman do. Doing the extra work, like pulling Smallwood over the first down line. Little stuff like that, it matters. It goes a long way. He did his part. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he had a penalty yesterday. I can't recall. I didn't rewatch the game yet. I usually do before I do my podcast, but I can't. I don't think he had any. One turning point yesterday was Smallwood breaking for his long run and it being brought back by a holding call on Brandon Brooks. I think that was a big turning point because at that point that would have put us up. Was it 17-0? If I'm not mistaken, it would have put us up 17-0, and then third quarter would have been a different outcome. That's what I think, but it didn't happen like that. Carson Wentz looked phenomenal through 3 quarters. He looked phenomenal through 3 quarters. Him and the Alshon Jeffrey connection looked like the best wide receiver and quarterback duo in the NFL right now, next to a few other opposing teams. But then the fourth quarter came. Same thing with Zach Ertz. He's having a phenomenal season, the best tight end in football until the fourth quarter came. Now, that's just everybody's individual job. Everybody's an individual stat line. Everybody had a pretty solid game on the offensive side of the ball until the fourth quarter came. Running the ball, Doug Peterson got to figure it out. Doug Peterson got to figure running the ball out because if you're going to stick with it, stick with it. If you're not, you're not. If it's going to take for you to go out, for Howie to go out there and go get another running back so y'all can break the bank on him just to run the ball, by all means, go do it. Go do it. If that's what it's going to take for you to run the rock, for you to take it over in the fourth quarter and push it down their throat and stop these sweeps to the end and these and the screen passes to the outside, what the defense is setting on this. This is the reason why it works for a team like Carolina. This is why those wide receiver runs work. Because while the defense is ready for the play, they're looking at their dual threat quarterback, their running back, and they're scared of that. So when the wide receiver gets the ball and he's rushing it on a pitch, it blows everybody's mind. They know that Carson Wentz is not about to take off unless he necessarily has to. So when they're doing their read option, they're not looking at Carson Wentz to tuck it and run. They know he's going to hand it off or he's going to pass the ball. They're not worrying about him scrambling out the pocket. So when you're doing these plays, Doug, just take that in mind. They're not worrying about that. They're not worrying about that. Carson Wentz is not a dual threat in a lot of teams' mind. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying that Carson Wentz is not dual threat, but he's going to run only if he necessarily has to. If Carson Wentz 9 times out of 10, he wants to stand in the pocket and fire it downfield. And I am okay with that. I am okay with him staying in the pocket and making it happen because you know why? He is successful like that. He's also successful running, but he's very successful standing in the pocket and firing downfield. which I would like them to do more. Not throwing behind the line of scrimmage, giving teams the opportunity to meet our players at the line of scrimmage. Now, I understand, people make people miss, but is it always going to happen? No, of course not. It's not going to happen. Is the fourth quarter the time to do that? Of course not. Especially when you've been doing it all game long. I've been calling out his plays. It's getting very predictable. Like, we haven't given up a home lead like that since 1985. We are not a dysfunctional organization. Teams like the Chicago Bears, Arizona Cardinals, every other team in the NFC East except us accomplishes giving up a big lead like that. Not the Philadelphia Eagles. We are not accustomed to something like that. If we're going to lose outright. We're not going to be up by 3-4 possessions and then have the opposing team come back. Whether it's home or away, it's not going to happen because that's not our MO. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. And then I don't know if it was playing too conservative and him not wanting to run the ball, and then the running the ball is one thing. The running plays that he's doing is another thing. The pitches to the outside, like our offensive line may be gas. It's the fourth quarter, and you want these guys to pull and meet linebackers and linemen around the corner to block for our running backs. It's not going to happen. We got a big line, and we seen that when Carson Wentz did the quarterback sneak on both of his fourth down attempts, and we converted. If you look how big and beefy that offensive line is, JP, Isaiah Sayamalu, Jason Peters, the smallest one, and he looks beefy on the line. Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson, they all get that push. And running the ball between the tackles, running the ball between the tackles is what we need to do. 9 times out of 10, we have been successful when running the ball through the tackles. I do have a problem with Corey Clement running the ball through the tackles because he seems to not read the hole. He's not reading the right hole. Every time he's hitting that hole, he's getting stopped. Because I can see that he's not going the right way. He immediately goes through the tackles and he gets stopped. But if getting somebody in here is going to get us to wake up and it's going to kickstart something in the locker room and start something else for the second half of the season, by all means, do it. Do it. I mean, because the offense is not struggling. What's so crazy is Doug Peterson has set this whole thing up where he could have literally gave up every game except the Giants game. That's our only legitimate win. That's the only game we could look at this season and say, hey, the Eagles won that game. Could we say that against Atlanta? No. Could we say that against Tampa Bay? No. Although we didn't win that Tampa Bay game, we definitely had it at some point. We could have won that game. We definitely could have won that game. Indianapolis, another game. Put it on the silver platter for them to win the game. And what happened? They didn't win. They didn't convert. Because if they did, then our back was against the wall, just like yesterday. Against Tennessee, we had that game and we gave it away on a silver platter. They took it. They took the game. After we gave it to them, they took it. They made sure, let's take it. They're giving it to us. Against Minnesota, we gave it to them. Hey, take the game. They made sure they put the nail in the coffin. Giants is the only legitimate win. And then you come back Sunday against the Carolina Panthers, up 17-0 in the fourth quarter, and you give them the game. Doug was playing conservative in the fourth quarter, doing his play calling was terrible in the fourth quarter. It had me scratching my head the whole time. I didn't feel comfortable. It's 15 minutes left or 10 minutes. I can't even remember how. It was a lot of time left on the clock. And we're playing like we're up 50-0. We are playing like it is 100% out of reach. And that's an issue. And Doug Peterson has been continuously doing that. At times, he's been saved by the bell. But not yesterday, until the fourth quarter came. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, I want to know why. If a man has the hot hand, you don't take the hot hand out. You feed the beast. It's like if you got a running back and he's getting 10 yards a carry. 10 yards a carry, just hypothetically speaking. Are you going to stop giving him the ball? No, you're not. Now, the individual I'm talking about is Michael Bennett. Fourth quarter, he should be in part of 80 or 90% of the snaps. We should not be taking that guy out because he was getting the best of that offensive line. He was getting the best of them. But no, we make sure we do everything in our power to hand this game over. Jim Schwartz is going to have to change the scheme. Now, I know I don't want to jump the gun because we look so good in three quarters. But at the same time, our defense has been giving up a lot. They gave up a lot. They gave up 21 points in one quarter. Carson Wentz wasn't out there to do that. It was the defense. Ronald Darby biting on the double move. Oh man, it was something else to see. We lost our edge. And losses like this, I would hope it brings us together and brings us tighter. The NFC East is wide open. And that's the only thing we got to fall back on because we control our own destiny. There are a total of 9 games left. 5 of those 9 games are all division games. 2 against Washington, 2 against Dallas, and 1 more against the New York Giants. That's the only thing we got going for us right now. But the way we look, and it don't even look like we could, honestly, we look like the Jaguars. We look pathetic, especially in that fourth quarter. We have to complete the game. There are 4 quarters. We cannot fall short like this. We can't do that to ourselves. We can't do that to the city of Philadelphia or the fans. We can't do that. We cannot do that. Being an Eagle means something. That team is historically good. Yes, I know we only have 1 Super Bowl. But I've been watching football since 1997 or 98. And since I've been watching football, the Eagles always been in the mix. Always. 4 straight NFC championships from 2001 to 2004. Another one in 2008. Playoff appearances throughout that time from the year 2000 and up. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl ring. The Eagles always been in the mix. They always been in the mix. The team always been good. It's a lot of hiccups here and there. Certain pieces of the puzzle wasn't there to get the job done. But they always been in the mix. Always. So we can't look like this because we are historically good. It's documented. Come on, man. Come on, Doug. If that's what it's going to take to add somebody onto the roster, because obviously Clement can't do it. I ain't saying that he can't. I ain't saying that Smallwood can't. But obviously Doug Peterson doesn't have enough faith to continue to pound the ball. He doesn't have enough faith in his running back group to continue to run the ball. And if it's going to take for him to go get another guy to have faith in, Go do it then. Go do it. Make the move happen already. Go make it happen. If that's what it's going to take. I'm not saying that we need a running back. But yesterday proved it. Yesterday definitely did. But at the same time, how would I really know if we need a running back if we don't run the ball? How are we going to know? How are we going to know if we need a running back? It's Doug got to get it together, man. The whole front office got to get together. It start up top, and then it's going to trickle down. The apple don't fall from the tree. So if y'all get right, we get right. The team get right. Got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. There's so much football left. There's so much games to be won. Eagles got to get, like, when we go into the bye, and we better win in London. We better win in London. It's not no if, maybe, but that team is straight sour. It's garbage. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on they are on that downhill rolling fast. It's picking up speed. That team is going nowhere fast. That's all I got to say. I'll be back later on in the week with my Jaguars and Eagle prediction and my keys to victory. I can't take it no more. The Eagles stressing me out this week. All right, everybody. It's your boy Will.